Hi there. I'm going to show you how to do the tendril stitch. This is another one of my stitches that I've been working with to be able to get something that would work for brims on hats and for purses and bags and things. And so this is it. And I didn't use any purls. I just used the stitch I use in it. And I got it to lay nice and flat for what I'm making. All I did was I cast on, did a row of owl eye, and on the edges, I guess you'll see the edge when I do the edge, but I'm making a headband with this particular project, so I will have the project video for this, but this video is just a stitch video to show you how to do the stitch, because you might not want to look through a whole headband video because you just want to know how to do the stitch. So I'm making just a simple stitch video. So how do you do the stitch? Well, here you go. You take your working yarn and you just do an E-wrap on the peg. Then you take the working yarn and come back the other way and wrap over from the top. Put your hook under the bottom loop and scoop it up. So basically what this stitch is on one peg, you're doing an E-wrap, and then you're going to do the purl over that was developed and created by Theresa Higby, and she gave me permission to do these videos and to use her stitch with other stitches and on combinations to make my own patterns and stitches. So there you go. I love it because it tends to not only tighten up your work, but it will define a stitch to make it look really good. Like, you would not know these were E-wraps, the intricate little stitch that you have here that has lots of texture and is tighter than if I had just E-wrapped on here. Now I'll do another one. E-wrap, knit over. Now when you do this purl over, it's not done like a purl. A purl would be done like this. You'd come down and scoop it up. It's placed on top as if you're going to do the true knit stitch. And you even go under to scoop it up like the true knit. But you don't take it off the peg. You just flip it over. So it is its own kind of stitch. Okay, so E-wrap. Come back over to do the purl over stitch. You come in from the bottom, go up over the working yarn and scoop up a loop, flip it over and tighten it. That's all there is to this stitch. So we E-wrap around, and you want to check, see, to make sure they're all the same. This one's a little loose, so I tighten it just a little more. Make sure that they're snug, but that you can easily knit them over, because the stitch can get tight. So E-wrap, come back under, scoop up the yarn, and I just flip them over like that, and I have them at the right tension because I've done it a lot. But you'll have to practice to get to that point doing the purl over. And just like this. Okay, I'm just going to pause to show you the yarn I'm using, because people are going to ask me, what yarn did you use? What loom did you use? So I'm on a 3/4 inch loom. It's one of the Theresa looms, and I'm using a bulky yarn that is about a medium bulky, thinner than a yarn like Charisma, but thicker than a yarn like Barcelona. It's a stiffer yarn. And I'm going to get the thing so I can show you the yarn. This is a Mary Maxim yarn. Aspen is the type that it is. And it's 100% acrylic, but it feels like it has wool in it. It really does. And it holds the stitch as if it had wool in it too. The color is Lodge. Color is called Lodge, and it's a combination of all kinds of colors. I've got reds, blues, oranges, bright, brilliant blue, and each color is mixed with some white. Oh, there's a gray too. You find the odd other ones, and they're all mixed with white. There's a type of a green in there too that I noticed. So this is the yarn, and you get 100 grams, 120 meters, made in Turkey. It's one of my favorite yarns from Mary Maxim. I use this one and their Marvelous yarn a lot. I used to love their Studio yarn too, and I've got lots of that, as it has wool content, but they discontinued it. I bought a lot when they were selling out, so I have that yarn to make some big projects in. Okay, so back we go, doing the stitch. Now there's a little button, bottom right, you'll see a gear. And when you press that gear, it will slow down the video, and you can choose how slow you want it to go. If you want to look at me doing this stitch slower to not miss anything, but I'm going to get quite close here. Come around, do the E-wrap. That one's easy. It's this purl over you need to get down. So working yarn under, scoop up the working yarn, flip it over, and tighten it up, and tighten it just enough. You can loosen it right now to the right tension if you've done it too tight. E-wrap. It's all done on one peg. Over, go under the bottom loop, scoop it up, go over the working yarn, make a loop, make sure it's not twisted, and just flip it over and tighten. Okay, and then the way I've done it is I've marked these two pegs because the end I'm doing, I wanted to have an extra peg here because it had a slight curl to it. So all I did on my edge here is I came over to do my number 1 stitch on my owl eye, came back over and wrapped over the 2. And then I just came back, wrapped over them both, and then did my second wrap on this one. And that's all, because I'm going to be doing a U-wrap here. And it's given me a nice edge. I did a bigger swatch, but I took it apart because I used this yarn and I wanted to reuse it. And so you just get a nice edge. It doesn't curl. The stitch is right at the side where we want it to be. Cast on edge is working good. So if you decide to make something, you don't need purls unless you want to use them. You can just do a simple edge like I did and not use any purls at all in your piece. It's up to you. And after I cast on, if you're doing a scarf or something, do 2 rows of owl eye to balance it so it doesn't curl at the bottom. I only used 1 and it's not curling, but I'm going to be connecting it into a headband, so I don't really care if it curls a bit. It will be connected, but it's not curling just with the 1 even, but I would use 2. And I'm just going to do the stitch a few more times for you to make sure that you get it down. So E-wrap, come back from the bottom, scoop it up, and tighten. So this is how you do it when you're going this way. E-wrap, your yarn's at the back. You want to go back the way you were going with it and go over the peg, the bottom, scoop it up. And once you get good at it, you'll just be doing this, you'll be coming, you'll be getting it, and you'll flip it over and you'll have the right tension because you'll get good at it, and then you can just whiz along. So if you're thinking, oh, this stitch takes a long time, it doesn't once you get going. And I'm at a not very good angle because I've had to use an angle that would work good to do a video for you, and I can't move it just the way I'd like to be more comfortable, so I just have to do the stitch like this. But you can just whiz along doing it, so it doesn't really take a long time. It's just a new stitch you probably have to learn if you haven't seen it before. And then here I am at this peg, did the U-wrap, go over and do a U-wrap over both of these and come back. But you can do your edge any way you want. It just needs a little extra. And when I come back, I I just go right into the U-wrap. It's like a figure eight, but I just go right into the E-wrap. So I go over, do my E-wrap, so I got the first stitch there, then come back over and knit it off. So that's how you do this stitch, the tendril stitch. I have to put little markers on all of these because I've got so many that I'm working out what yarns to do and working out what I'm going to do to get these all out to you within a month and a half. All these new stitches, so no one has to wait for them. And then I will slow down and make other projects because I'll start doing other things. But there you go. There's what it looks like. And here's what the other side looks like. It actually looks kind of cool. It has its own kind of stitch going on here. Let's see if I can pull this down. So it looks really interesting too. So it could stand alone for a stitch as well. But there you go. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you make lots of projects. I will have the headband coming up right away, maybe even before this one. I'll figure it all out and put them in and get the headband one edited together when I get further along. And okay, until I see you again, bye.